Welcome. I'm Christian Diaz, owner of Envision Fitness and Nutrition, and today we have the other owner of Envision, Andrea. Andrea is also my wife, and we've been running this company for the last 5 years. We've actually been on this journey for now, what is it, our seventh or eighth year? We've gone from, working in a gym to building a meal prep company to going back to working in a garage, to working with the community, working with kids. We've done quite a bit of work, and finally I think we're in a place where we have found our area that we really enjoy and that we can really grow into. And Dre's here today to tell you a little bit more about what she does and what this journey's been like for her. So welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me on. Man, now that he mentions it, we have been doing this thing for a really long time, and it's taken quite some time to kind of figure out what our lanes are. And now at this moment, I run our after-school programs, or our youth programs, and that has really been one of the things that I enjoy the most now as a mom. Working with kids is just really fun. But in this position that we have now, we really get to teach and see the direct impact that it has at a younger age. So that's really what I do in these after school programs. We teach anywhere from soccer to cooking to just different life skills. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's just giving these kids attention and care that sometimes they don't get at home because parents are so busy trying to make ends meet. So really, it's been a place to give students a safe place to be themselves and to give them support and just continue to help them grow and teach them different things that they might not learn at home. This has been a big avenue for myself. Like Christian mentioned, we owned a meal prep company a couple years back, and I swore that I was never going to cook again because at that point it was really stressful. And from that, I've sold meal preps. From that, it turned into cooking workshops for students, and from that, it led to this after-school program. So now that is my new venture, and it has been really fun to just show something that for myself has been so simple because it's second nature, but for kids it's giving them a sense of independence and a sense of confidence, because once you let a child do something and tell them, yes, it's okay, you can use this knife, you just see their eyes lit up, and there's no better sense of fulfillment than seeing somebody learn something that's they're going to be able to use the rest of their life. So it's been really fun.
Well, tell us a little bit about your journey and how it all started for you. Obviously, we're fast forwarding now. We're 8 years ahead, and people see a business owner, a woman of power, a leader, right? But what was it like prior to all of this happening? Who was Dre back then?
Oh, man. Dre was a big drinker. Dre was somebody that you would not find at a gym. I grew up playing soccer, and I would say recreational. I was not at your level one bit, but I was a type of person, I'm talking probably maybe my junior, senior year and going after high school, that would just eat a lot of fast food and party on the weekends and show up to my games thinking that, I could play. And that's kind of what my life was for probably, say, maybe 17 up until I met you. So 20, 22, 23 years old. I was not in shape whatsoever. And it wasn't until I kind of hit my rock bottom that I reached out to you, and I wanted to, like everybody, lose those extra 5 pounds that I thought I had to lose. And that's kind of where everything really started changing for myself. I had never been into a gym, and a little back history of Christian and myself. we went to different high schools. We had friends in common through soccer. And when he came back into town, I reached out to him, asking him if he could be my personal trainer and help me lose weight. And that's kind of where it all started. And even then, the first year of us working together, I was a Monday through Thursday dieter where I would follow my plan. Monday through Thursday came the weekend, and we would go out and party and then come back Monday and wonder why the scale hadn't gone down. And that was the good first year and a half of our journey together.
Yeah. So, and you went through obviously various journeys, I think, along the way, right? When we first met, I went through a bodybuilding phase. Even myself, I went from being an athlete, like a college athlete, to trying to find a new label for myself. And, I found the fitness space, and obviously bodybuilding was one of those things that I picked up. And, I would say I did great in it. Obviously it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but during that time, you also went through a phase where you thought you wanted to pursue that, or at least I would say at that point in time, we believed that was a good, healthy lifestyle. So we wanted to approach that all or nothing type of lifestyle. So you also went into the bodybuilding space and did your first show. Obviously, your experience was very different than mine. You had an experience where you gained a lot of weight after the show, and obviously being in a relationship with someone who is a coach, who you're supposed to have it all figured out, or you have all the answers next to you. It turned out it wasn't like that. So tell us a little bit more about what that was like for you, and the pressure that you felt, what you felt after, and how it changed the way you look at things now.
Shortly after you did your bodybuilding show, I decided to jump on one. And honestly, my mindset back then was, I'm going to prove myself that I can do this. I had no idea what I was jumping into. I had experienced the prep with you, and like you said, it was very different for yourself. You've been in shape all your life. I had just started to get a sense of what following macros was, what training in the gym was. So jumping into this prep, I wouldn't say the prep in itself was hard for me. What was hard for me was post-show. I didn't have, I didn't work with a coach post-show, so I just went in from having a coach for the last 6 months to getting off the stage and being like, okay, now what? And I gained a lot of weight, probably 20 pounds at least. And
What weight did you get down to?
so,
I feel like it was more. I think you got up to
maybe 30
You got
pounds.
down to 110?
My stage weight was 103.
103. I think you got up to 140.
Yeah.
So
okay,
37 pounds.
37 pounds. It didn't, obviously it didn't happen overnight, but the real damage there was that in my mind, because my partner was a coach and he was in great shape, now that I gained the weight back, I felt embarrassed and ashamed, not just to be seen with him or train with him, but for him to see how out of shape I was. So I think that was the big mental challenge for myself. And I became a binge eater. I had never experienced this before. And we used to live with my mom back then. And I have these vivid memories of waking up in the middle of the night, going to the pantry, and those doors that open and squeak. Mm-hmm. It was I would literally hold the handle very slow and hold it so I could open the door without the squeak. And I didn't even have a craving of a specific food. It was let's eat whatever is in the pantry. And I went through this phase for a really long time, and I started drinking again. So alcohol was involved, and that was a big factor. So it was just I had already taken 3 steps forward, and now I had taken 10 steps back. And to get out of that was really hard mentally. So I never thought that doing a show and being in great shape would actually put me 10 steps back instead of moving me forward. And it was something that was really hard to get out of.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. Obviously, and we see it a lot. We see not just you, but we see it a lot in women that do these shows. And this is one of the reasons why whenever I get a customer that comes in and says, "I want to do a show," I'm like, "Oh man." First of all, if you don't come, like if you don't have the athletic background, obviously it can become really challenging because it's going from one side of the spectrum to the other side of the spectrum, and that can create a big rebound if you don't have a really good foundation built underneath. Um, but obviously, like I said, you've gone through different phases. Another one that I would really like to touch on, because I think this is another area where women really struggle with after, is after they have kids. And so you did a bodybuilding show, right, at some point in your life. So you experienced that, what it's like to lose a ton of weight and then also go ahead and gain a bunch of weight because of the rebound that happens after from binge eating. Fast forward to you having us running a fitness company or a food company, closing it down, finding out that you're pregnant, or I think we say we are pregnant. That's the correct term. Um, and obviously having a baby and going through those hormonal changes, and then after, you are left with what a lot of women experience is postpartum depression. You start looking at your body; it looks different. There's marks on your body, and how has that experience been like for you? And obviously, I think over the years you've grown a lot in a sense where you've gotten past that and you become more comfortable, and obviously you focused a lot on the overall lifestyle that I think we've worked on for quite a bit of time. But tell us a little bit more about that experience for you, what it was like.
Yeah, so finding out we were pregnant, we were not we were not planning, I would say. So it was a curveball. There was a lot of stress going on. As a first-time mom, I really had no expectations. And one of the things that I remember telling myself was, I have to take care of myself and I have to take care of this baby. So it was during COVID, and we had just closed down our company. So we had a lot of time, per se, for the next, or I had a lot of time, had 9 months to grow, a baby and take care of myself. And that's honestly what I did. My first pregnancy was really the jumpstart to a new chapter in my life. And it was like I had somebody rooting for me, per se, the whole way, because it wasn't hard to show up every day and get my workout in. And I knew that working out and eating healthier was going to benefit me. So I never had a doubt in my mind that, I'm going to get hurt lifting a weight. And that's another, I won't say theory, but I will say advice that you get, especially from Mexican culture, is like, don't work out during your pregnancy. You need to rest, you need to eat, and you should not lift more than 25 pounds. And I remember working out and putting my squat videos, and I was probably already 7 months pregnant, and I would get messages from people telling me, be careful, se te va a salir el niño, like little comments like that, right? And it would really trigger me back then, and to the point where I would question, like, should I post this video? Should I not? And I told myself, I'm going to share my journey because it might inspire another mom that is going through something similar to do the same. And that's one of the things that I'm most proud of now, is that I didn't stop working out, because not only did it help me have a healthy pregnancy, but I truly believe that's what helped me push through labor and honestly motherhood, because for me, the 9 months of baby in your belly, that's easy. It's really afterwards that now you have a little human being, I'm going to get emotional, running around, and you have to lead by example. So everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, has a direct impact on your children. So showing up when it gets hard and when you don't want to became just a tiny bit easier to do. And afterwards, obviously, my body changed. I had now a baby to take care of, and we had just opened Envision. So workouts were very different. And I did get a little into, a couple months, I would say, of depression. But I think, in a sense, all mothers go through that because you change. And now I'll say that I'm not trying to get my body back. It's just a new version of myself that I've grown into becoming a mother. So bringing the baby to your workout and, having to stop mid-set to breastfeed or to change a diaper or to just cuddle them, it's what you do during motherhood because you adapt. You adapt to figuring it out. And okay, I feel like I veered now from our question. But that's been my experience of just shifting really my goals. Before it was a lot of aesthetic and I wanted to look a specific way. And obviously after having the baby, there is a lot more loose skin. And I always joke around stretch marks because I had stretch marks before a baby when I gained all that weight. So stretch marks were not a big fear of me post-baby. And I went through a phase of wanting to lose all the weight and wanting to have my pre-mom body and all this and that. And as I've grown and now we have 2 babies, it's really become about being strong and being healthy so I can have fun with them and I can chase them and I can carry them around because, man, they get heavy carrying a 20-pound baby. And my older son now weighs about 45 pounds. Like it's a lot of weight. And I want to be able to carry them and play with them as long as I can. So now my thing is just lift as much as I can so I can be strong for my boys.
It sounds like now that you found yourself in a space where purpose comes into play, and I think this is a topic that we talk a lot about for our customers. And obviously, over time, I've figured that this is one of the lacking pieces for many people, and which just puts them into this wheel of, the rat race of doing the same thing over and over and over and over. I think that a lot of people lose purpose over time, or their labels continue to change. And do you feel that purpose has been one of those things that has gotten you to become more comfortable with yourself aesthetically? The way you view yourself? Do you feel now that you have found yourself in an area that you can help others has made it a lot easier for you?
100%. I think I have had a lot of growth, specifically these last 2 years. And that has just made me be a little bit more myself. Not that I wasn't in the past, but I think that now I am comfortable with who I am and I've changed my role a lot. Now I feel like a leader. And I think that all comes from the experiences that I've had in the past that have helped me obviously shape who I am today, but just honestly being more comfortable in my body and being confident of who I am and what I do have helped me really find that purpose and have helped me be happy because that's a big one. I wasn't happy in the past, or at least not all the time. And that veered me away from what I really enjoy to do and what I really wanted to do. And now I really enjoy what I do. And it just makes things a lot more easier and a lot more natural.
So tell us a little bit more about how you would like to use your experience to show other mothers or perhaps to help these kids learn new life skills, right, through your programs and through what you share on social media, because you tend to share a lot of your personal experiences. what is one of the messages, or what is it that you're trying to push out and help our community?
I think one of the messages specifically for moms is that you're much more than just a mom. We fall in this label of we're a mother and we need to take care of everybody else, but nobody's going to take care of you. If mom goes down, household goes down. And I think that's one of the things that we forget because we are always trying to take care of everybody. And two, you are not limited just because you're a mom. It doesn't limit you from working out, from doing all the things that you want to do. Yes, it is extremely hard and it takes a village. And I feel so fortunate to have a village that helps me do all the things that I do. But at the end of the day, I think that we give ourselves too little credit for everything that we do. So I would just say, if you want to go do something different, something that you've always wanted to do, like, do it. You can totally do it. Obviously, it's going to be harder, but you can do it. And for my youth programs, I just really want to share the positivity and the healthier lifestyle that we can have. Because now, especially with social media and with all these electronics, you'll see kids that are 5 years old glued to an iPad or to a phone. And that makes me feel sad because now they don't know what play is outside. They don't know what making dirt pies looks like, right? And we had that childhood. So I just really want to share the hands-on, the getting dirty, the allowing kids to be kids and allowing them to have that youth that helped us in the past. And obviously to show parents that their kids can do so much more than we think. Both of my kids have been in the kitchen with me. Now it's time for my baby to learn how to use, a knife, and he just learned how to crack eggs. So now every time he sees an egg, he wants to go cook. But if you start now, when your kids are older, they are going to be self-sufficient. They are going to know how to do the things that you taught them to. And you have to make an effort. If, just like anything, if you want your kids to learn, you have to take the time to show them because they are fast learners. But we have to put that effort in as parents.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better. All right. Well, where can people find you on social media? And yeah.
Our work page is Envision Youth Programs on Instagram, and my personal is Dre_AAH. And I share a little bit about everything, and I try to just keep it real with you guys between what juggling fitness, motherhood, and being an entrepreneur is like.
There you go. Thank you.